For serious YouTubers, save time and money with TubeBuddy, the premier tool used at geekoutdoors.com. Get more done today by checking out the affiliate link in the description area below.
Hey, welcome to another episode of geekoutdoors.com. So on a previous episode, I did a comparison video where I was doing a comparison or versus of YouTube versus Vidme versus Dailymotion versus Vimeo. And unfortunately, Vidme is no longer around. And so one of my viewers asked me to do another comparison where it is YouTube versus DTube and PeerTube. Now, I did go check out the PeerTube's website, and there wasn't a lot of content there, so I'm going to go ahead and just focus on DTube. And so if you are not familiar with what DTube is, it's basically a decentralized place where people can actually upload their videos. And also, it is a place where there is quote-unquote more freedom than you would get on YouTube. So that's actually what I'm going to be focusing on today, is the advantages and also some of the disadvantages that I see of these new decentralized platforms. And so obviously, the first thing that is appealing to a lot of people is the fact that it is decentralized, and also at the same time it offers a lot of freedom. And I will put freedom as a caveat there because I'll get into that a little bit further. And so the biggest appeal, I think, for a lot of people is that unlike something like a YouTube or Facebook or Twitter, Instagram, any of these other platforms, it's not centralized in one place, okay? And this is apparent by the technologies that they use to run DTube. For example, it is built on top of this Themate cryptocurrency platform. So that's basically how all of that payment is going to be handled and how people could potentially make money on it. And since it is decentralized, there isn't one center of control. And the second point of decentralization is actually how the files are stored themselves. They use a protocol called IPFS, or Interplanetary File Protocol System. And this is a decentralized system of storing files using hash tables. And so it's actually not stored on a server somewhere, okay? So that way, people can, I guess, feel a lot better about quote-unquote privacy for the simple fact that it's not stored in one place and it isn't being queried by databases, doing queries on all the information stored on a database server. And so that is probably the first advantage, and I'll include the privacy part with that as well because of its decentralized nature. And then the second part of it is this whole ideal of having freedom, okay? Because of these platforms that they are decentralized, they really don't have the same type of policy and restriction controls that really people, for the majority of people, do not like on places like YouTube, okay? So I think that's a big appeal to a lot of people, okay? And so those are the two biggest things. And then the third thing is the way that videos are shown, since it doesn't work on a query system where this data is stored on a database somewhere, then it's more based upon a democratic free approach, right? Where the videos that are upvoted and liked the most are the ones that actually get shown. And so that sounds really good idea-wise, but in practice, I'll get into that, where it might not always end up the way that you want it, okay? And so with that, let's go ahead and get into some of the disadvantages or challenges that I see with these types of decentralized open platforms, okay? So the first problem that I could see is, since it is decentralized, I mean, in one case you could say that's a good thing. The bad thing is, since it is decentralized, if you have problems, for example, if your accounts were to be hacked, okay, your passwords would be compromised, they can't recover that, because it's not on a server somewhere, it's, like I said, it's decentralized. And also, if you need to recover files or videos, that's not an option that's available, okay? So basically, you're really dependent upon your own backups, if in case something does happen, okay? And at the same time, if your actual account does get compromised, they also have access to your Themate cryptocurrency money as well. while that might not be a big problem if you're just starting out and you don't have that much content, if you have hundreds or thousands of videos and something like that were to happen, that would not be a good thing. So that's the first thing that I see. And then the second thing I see is with the whole notion of freedom, okay? Even though I love freedom, I love having actually more options, you know, especially when it comes to the technology I use, there can also be a downside to freedom as well. So for example, you know, YouTube has a lot of problems filtering out a lot of the type of content that's on there already. And YouTube is humongous, okay? So imagine if you have content on there, on DTube, where they have violent content, or content that is really not good for kids, or there could be really shady stuff going on. For example, people scamming you on business opportunities and so forth, right? They could take your money, and since it's not controlled and it's not centralized anywhere, there's no way for you to get any type of recourse. And there could probably also be some really, really nasty criminal activities going on as well, you know, due to its decentralized nature, you know. And in one case, people are happy that there's not as much policies, restrictions, but in another case, you have to think about all those other things, okay? And then the second part of the freedom thing is it's actually controlled by the community, okay? So that's where I feel like, you know, it's not exactly 100% freedom, you know? So think about it this way. If there is not for safe work, okay, NSFW, or maybe there's things that are definitely not appropriate for children, then that's actually going to be managed by the community themselves. And so that also leads to the point of, you know, who is the community, okay? And that could be a problem, because if the community is largely someone that does not agree with the type of content that you make, then it could be in a very similar situation that we have on YouTube, where you have a lot of trolls or people that just do not like you. So you could easily see where with this community-based system that there could be people who would just simply not upvote any of your videos. So basically none of your videos can be shown, and even if it is a good video, they could downvote it to the ground, okay? And so it makes it a lot harder. And since it is not stored in a database, meaning it's searchable, then your content could not be searchable in the future, okay? So there's going to be long-term effects as well, where your video could not show up anymore in the future, okay? And then the third thing is scale, okay? Even though they don't have this on any of their servers, if you think about expansion and scale, this would definitely be a problem if DTube grows more and more, because just think about YouTube, okay? In YouTube, there's currently 300 hours of videos uploaded every minute. There's over 5 billion video views in one day. And Google obviously is a humongous company, and even they are having issues with not only managing and policing their website, but also handling this immense amount of data that's going through its servers, that's going through its website every single day all around the world. And so those are the three main challenges or problems that I see with a decentralized system like DTube. Although the whole ideals of having more freedom, you know, more of a democratic approach, if you think about the realities of it all, it's definitely challenging, okay? However, in the end, I really feel, you know, that the more options we have, the more freedom that we have. And so you don't have to limit yourself to just YouTube or just DTube or Facebook or whatever platform that you're on. You could be on multiple platforms, and that's always my mindset, okay? There's always going to be new technologies and services, and my opinion is use the best technology and service or platform that works well for you, okay? So that is it for this particular episode. My thoughts on YouTube versus DTube, and not really much PeerTube, but also my thoughts on the whole decentralized video content creation platforms that are emerging now. So if you had any thoughts on anything that I talked about today, or maybe there are some other video sites that you like, be sure to leave it in the comments area below. And as always, if you did get value out of these videos, be sure to subscribe. And if you wanted to support my channel further, you could do that at patreon.com/geekoutdoors.
Thanks for checking out this episode. And as always, if you like these videos, be sure to click on the subscribe button. And for full written content, audio content, and additional geek stuff, head over to geekoutdoors.com, and I'll see you outdoors on the very next episode.